Nobody heard that. Okay, guys, we're live right now. We're just going to hang out for a few minutes before the show starts. The camera's just going to sit on the Bulleit Rye for a little bit, and we're just going to sit here and talk for a few minutes before the actual show kicks on. And then, guys, I'll let you know when the actual show kicks on. I'm going to mute the mic and hit our intro out. And then, so how's everybody today? So you guys are, when did you guys get here?
I got here yesterday.
Oh, okay, cool.
She came in today, this afternoon.
You guys are staying till
Tuesday morning?
Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, cool.
You can't take him with you on Monday?
I have to actually work. Some of us don't. I do.
What?
Wow.
You're sitting next. I heard you.
I know you did. That's why I said I said it out loud.
She was talking to you, Dave.
I said.
I think she called you a fucking asshole.
I see what role I'm playing here.
Well, you can blame all of this on Sidecar because he didn't show up today.
I was going to say,
Of
is
your
this any
jokes.
different than you normally play? I mean,
Right? Yeah. How long have you known us?
yeah.
Don't act like this is new.
See, I'm still getting that little
Oh, I found one.
Yeah, I
error.
see that. I just keep
I'm
going.
just, I am. I'm keeping rolling with it just because it doesn't seem to affect
Give me one
that
of them-
much. It seems to be about the same as Facebook.
You want them letters? I don't care which one. No, sorry.
So I'm just going to let it roll.
Yeah, I mean, somebody can tell us if it's like completely out of control.
Right.
Like,
What would be out of control?
the
Any
streaming.
buffering or anything, or like, I don't care if the video buffers a little bit. That's going to happen when you're live. But as long as the sound is good and straight, because the video's just there so they can see our faces. But as long as the sound is good, man, that's the most important part of this.
Let me know when you want this letter.
You know what? Can we give Joe Boo a little something? Because those bats have been like really, really bad, and Joe Boo needs some.
I'm gonna give him some bourbon because I'm not gonna move all that.
Give him some bourbon.
I'm gonna give him a kick in his fucking ass is what he's gonna get.
Come on, Joe Boo. We need to get this party started. Don't mess with the Joe Boo. All right, Joe Boo. Let's see. Okay, they're playing right now. I gotta check the score. Wore my Indians shirt
Oh
today.
my goodness.
Oh, look at that. They're tied. The end of the 5th inning.
Okay, now it's time for
It's a
the
nail
relief
biter.
to come in.
1-1.
Who are they playing here?
Tampa Bay.
See that double play they turned in the 8th inning though?
No, I couldn't
Oh
even.
my goodness. Lindor pulled the ball out of nowhere.
That's Lindor.
And you know what? The thing that I was really surprised at is that Kitten has turned it at second base. Usually he messed
Kipnis
it
is
up.
good defensively. He really is. Defensively. He's had his problems on offense, but you know what? When the weather warms up and it stays warm, they'll get going. They're not a cold weather team, which unfortunately they're in Cleveland.
I was going to say.
Bro, aren't they all?
Cleveland.
Aren't most of them down near the equator somewhere?
Oh, you got from Puerto Rico,
Dominican Republic,
Dominican.
Cuba.
Yeah, I mean they're
But that's for every team though, so why would we be so unique?
because we're Cleveland. It's all good. I have faith in my team.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Take Damian with you.
I've been saying for
No,
years.
you don't live here anymore.
I've been
You're
saying
not
for
allowed to
years.
talk shit.
I've been saying for years. You watch Browns and come back, kick some fucking ass. You watch.
Oh, I
I've been saying
cannot
for years.
wait for this year's Brown season. I love how Baker Mayfield is
I've been a
talking
Browns fan
smack
my whole
already
life.
in the offseason. It's great. What did you say?
I've been a Browns fan my whole life.
Please. I can't even watch sports with him. He's such a Debbie Downer.
I know.
What
I'll never
I
forget
called
watching
Oh
Ohio
my
State play
God.
Alabama with Dougie Fresh in the basement here.
Dougie wanted to kill me.
Oh my goodness.
He was so shut the fuck up. You open your mouth one more
Debbie
fucking time.
Downer. Oh, here's where they're gonna lose it now.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
here
They
we
lost
go.
the
I told
game.
you.
I told you guys they'd pull it out.
Fucking losers.
They were so pissed at me. Dougie's crawling. He had to go to the bathroom. He's crawling under the TV.
Although
So we
that's
went-
when I do like it, when he's talking smack about Ohio State. I just sit there and smile. That is fun. Don't be talking smack against my Indians, though, because them's fighting words. Are you still streaming?
Yep.
Okay. You're over there bouncing from screen to screen. I don't even know what the heck
we
you're
good?
doing anymore.
Yeah.
About ready to start the show or what?
What time is it? Oh,
Joe's late.
Joe. Again.
You guys ready to kick on? All right, I'm going to kick on. All right, kick on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we on?
We are on. See if you're doing good. Welcome, everybody. This is Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
Big Jake.
Karen Helen Keller.
And Steve Williams, my brother from Texas.
See, he actually showed up this time.
All right,
I'll
He's
talk
not
too.
just sitting behind the camera. He's a real person.
And what was the saying that you let us borrow?
Saying was that?
Grab a whiskey, grab a cigar, and let's take a journey tonight, guys.
That's it.
Want to thank you for joining us. Be sure to view us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to be a guest on the show, just bring a bottle of your favorite whiskey, like I've said before, preferably unopened. And just a reminder, when you do come on the show, it's not like you leave the bottle with us. And maybe that's scaring some of the people from coming on the show, because we have had a couple guests who are like, oh, should I leave this here? But no. If the bottle's going to be open that you bring, if it's something rare that you just can't readily get at a store or order online, we understand. We'll discuss that, through messaging or whatever. So tonight we are featuring Bulleit Rye 12-year, and I'm excited to try that. And our guest tonight is Mr. Steve Williams
Hey, everybody.
from Texas.
Wait, where's the...
Oh,
Oh, geez. Here we go.
this was the last thing that Steve's college girlfriend left in his dorm when she left him. And it was good because you always knew where she was. She's big. She's big. She's 240 shorty.
240
So I
short.
want to say thank you to our sponsors tonight, the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. Got a lot of good stuff going on. I appreciate you guys out there. All the hard work that the co-op does for the club and the Whiskey Roundtable. Thanks, guys. We also have Royal Havana Cigars. Dave Somrock, owner of Royal Havana Cigars, who gives us all of our cigars, cutters, and lighters, and everything that we need for our show, for our smoking needs. Thank you, Dave. And again, I always say this, you go in there and mention our name, the Whiskey Roundtable, we get 10% off your first purchase. And pretty soon, and probably I think towards the end of June, maybe first week or two of July, we're going to be doing a live show there.
Look out.
We're going to have a good time there. Also want to thank Village Martini. So Village Martini in Chagrin Falls and Clifton Martini in Cleveland. So, check them out. They're updating their whiskey and scotch line, and the place is very nice. The wines are good. The martinis are good. And Premier Automotive, Joe Clark.
And if you mention the roundtable at Premier Automotive, there is a 20% increase in labor costs.
Amen. That's why he's successful.
I'm just kidding.
That's okay.
Oh, you watch the show? Okay.
Usually you go in there, it's 30%.
Yeah, right. Hey, so that's a discount. That's
right.
An increase.
Yeah.
You get the discounted increase.
Yeah. Well, I used to have a sign when I owned the parts store. It said, "We cheat the other guy and pass the savings on to you." So I'm going to find that sign, and I'm going to put that in a frame, and I'm going to give that to you to put in your shop.
Cool. So What are you guys smoking? What y'all got?
So my brother was kind enough when he came up from Texas to bring cigars like he always does, and this is a box press. But Steve, I don't remember what cigar that you gave me. It's
This
a
is
full Maduro.
Tatuaje, isn't it?
who?
It's a Tatuaje.
Who?
Yeah, that thing.
Watch your mouth. It's a family show.
I don't know. It did say parental.
There's women
advisory.
listening. They
Where?
talk about Tuaje. Box press. That's what I'm smoking. Maduro. Maduro cigar, very good. My lungs love it. But
My lung
I'm about
feels
done with
great.
this, and I'm going to move to a Ecuadorian Habano Royal Havana cigar, 770. So,
Okay.
any of you cigar people out there tonight, look us up in a little while. Ask some questions. Got
Yeah,
all
and you
the
can
answers.
ask questions on here while we're live on the YouTube, and we can reply within a. It should be about a. It's about a 15-second delay right now, which is normal. And our connection is staying excellent. Excellent.
It's
Since,
excellent.
I said the last setting right while we were doing the show, actually. But while I was doing that, when I was talking in the beginning with welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable, and we are your hosts, I was still on the Bulleit Rye. So let's try that one more time. I'm just going to say, we are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Steve Williams.
So just so you know who we all are here, because that was my bad. I didn't keystroke that quick enough. But it's our first time on YouTube. We've had some issues for some reason streaming on here every now and then, and it always works on Facebook, but now we're on here and it seems to be going okay. So if you guys have any suggestions or anything, make some comments how the sound is. I think the sound's pretty good. I tested it a few times tonight before we kicked off. So what else we got? What are you smoking? You already said?
La Caviarta? Don't ask me what that means.
Yeah.
It's Spanish.
Dave would know.
It's I think it's a natural wrap. I think it's Nicaraguan. It's a medium body cigar, which will be good for this nice show because I can smoke this whole thing and then dip into another one.
Yeah, that's what
Cool.
I'm talking
Okay.
about.
How is that like a long burning cigar or not really?
No, it's probably a 40-minute cigar
Okay.
if I smoke it, which I'm getting ready to do right now.
That's it.
What else would you
Light
do
it
with
up.
a cigar other than smoke it?
Truck on it.
So you guys always hear me talk about, we always mention Steve in all of our shows. My brother to come up to visit for the holiday,
From
as
Texas.
he does, from Texas.
Great
And
state of Texas.
He's here with my sister-in-law Nancy, who's sitting in the audience,
We'll get her on air next time.
and her friend Margaret and her son Pierre, which they're actually watching upstairs because we're smoking cigars, which is fine. So I hope they're enjoying the show as well. So, and Margaret's from where? Chicago. Right, Chicago. And she used to work.
For
with
me?
you?
Yeah.
She's an angel.
Yeah, she has to
She's
be.
a
Oh my
saint.
gosh. And she's still hanging around.
I know, right?
All right.
You know, she's hanging out with Nancy. She
She's
didn't hang
tough.
out with Steve.
She's really tough.
She must drink a shitload. Wow. Had a
a
girl,
survivor.
Margaret.
Yeah, she probably carries concrete around every day. Doesn't care. She's like, hey, I put up with him. I can lift this. It's like, no problem. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, poor Margaret. She's a saint. I love you, Margaret.
Is that why she kept running into the walls upstairs?
She's not adjusted yet.
Yeah, too
Yeah.
funny. But so here's Steve live. He's finally
Agreed to be on the show.
agreed to be on the show.
Right.
So Steve,
I
so
had the option?
you had the option.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
you-
so we
you-
actually have a guest. You
We
can,
do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The interview.
Steve and Joe. Steve's been trying to force feed me bourbon for years,
Oh, yeah.
and for many years. And I was a beer drinker and didn't want to hear about any whiskey. So a silly surgery changed all that. And Steve, I think what was one of the first things we had? Bulleit?
Well, not this Bulleit,
No, not that Bulleit.
but Bulleit, yes.
What Bulleit was. Yeah.
Bulleit bourbon.
Joe.
Diageo.
Joe hooked me up with some good bourbon New Year's Eve
What's that?
when I couldn't drink that beer and you said, try this. What was it? Four Roses? What'd you have me try that you got me?
Very first time.
Glen Ross.
That's what I thought.
Was it
1995.
95.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was Glen Ross 95. I had brought you a
The Belgian beer.
we were was it New Year's or were we
Might have been
celebrating
Christmas.
your birthday?
It might have been my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we okay, everybody's saying on here that it sounds good.
That's good.
Alex Polk from the Co-op is driving down 271 listening to us through his Bluetooth. Awesome.
Right.
Dude.
Awesome,
Be
man.
careful
Thank you.
Good man.
driving.
Yeah,
be careful. You're all
driving.
good. He's on the Bluetooth.
All
So
else fails while you're driving, just close your eyes. Go ahead.
So
Hey, you don't want to watch this.
I had bought you I bought him a really nice beer. It was like, I don't know, a liter and a half. It was a Belgian beer, wax top. I spent almost $40 on it. I'm like, oh, Greg loves beer. I'll bring this, and I'm gonna bring a really good whiskey for everybody else. And Glen Ross 95 was still available, widely available. Brought that over, and I was like super excited to give him this bottle, of beer. And he opened. He's like, oh, I can't wait to try this. And he opened. He's just like, I was like, oh. Man, that was $40. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, dude, I don't know beer. I just picked out because it was Belgium. It was good, and he kind of was like, dude, I can't do beer anymore. I'm like, shit, it's a good bottle of whiskey. And so everybody's ranting and raving about the Glen Ross I bought, and who else? Michelle
and Charlie.
and Charlie were here, and they even had it, and they were like, wow, this is amazing. You got to try this. And so he did, and that was that.
Got it rolling.
I started drinking bourbon a few years before Greg did, and after a while, beer just doesn't do it for you, right?
No.
Your palate needs something else, and
Right.
you get all this breadth and depth that you get from these different whiskeys. I remember sitting down with you and drinking like 4 or 5 different scotches and some blends, and
Yeah.
just opens up your mouth, and it just makes everything kind of come to life.
Yeah.
Beer, it works for a while, but then your palate matures and you go someplace else. And
Right. Gets flat after a while.
Whiskey's a nice place to go.
I agree.
Whiskey is a nice place to go because for me, it's amazing all the friendships I've gotten through drinking whiskey. It sounds weird and stupid, but it's true. I mean, the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, there's a lot of people that meet up on there. Steve, I mean, I think the first time we talked together was about whiskey.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're like,
Whiskey,
oh wait,
you
this
get
guy
your
likes
father-in-law
whiskey?
likes
You know what I mean? Like,
I think before I even drank bourbon, I had Steve was the first time I ever had Pappy Van Winkle, 21 now.
23.
23.
23.
Yeah.
And it was in the 20s.
Mhm.
I was in my 30s then.
I was never a big, if I say this correctly, Chivas.
Yeah, yeah.
Chivas fan. I was never a big Chivas fan. I've had the Regal 12 and stuff like that. But Steve had this Century of Malts. It's 100 different space sides blended together, and it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible. And if you can find it, it's up there. I don't know, man. I would spend the money on
What
it.
was it? Do you
It's
remember
good.
what it was?
Cost-wise?
No. What was the name of it?
Chivas.
Century of Malts.
Yeah. Century
Century.
Malt from Chivas.
See if we can find it.
I don't even
Black
think that's
label.
available in the States.
Yeah, I think
The
we
last
brought
time
that
I
from
read,
London, I think.
You did. You got it out of the country, and I think you said that was around $4 for that, if I remember
Yeah, I
correctly.
think my wife might have brought that for me. I don't
Okay,
know.
I've looked online.
go,
But yeah, it was
Nancy.
about. They're
You go,
online
girl.
now. They're about 400. Yeah.
Yeah, she can spend some money, man.
I know, right?
Hey.
I remember when we were at Meekum Auction
You want me to hit him?
buying cars.
Mm.
We bought the Buick.
Oh yeah,
She's like, "Really? You bought that car?"
you bought the
I know,
car
I know. And I was like,
with my money.
and I did. And she goes, well, "I guess I'm just going purse shopping tomorrow."
Pretty sure she's
Steve's
got
all
one or
like,
two of them. Yeah.
"Thanks, Greg." I'm like, "Oh, hey, it was a
You
nice.
should have threw in
it's
a
a good
pair
deal.
of shoes or
Well,
two
I was
also.
working it, yeah.
It's the best 30-something grand I spent on
Yeah.
the
right.
house. Spent your money on that too.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So, Greg,
My
is there
money.
any other questions you want to ask him? Like maybe what's your backstory with? I've never really asked you. We've talked so much about whiskey. What's your backstory with whiskey? Why and how did you get started? What was your first favorite brand and type of whiskey?
Yeah, so, I spent 4 or 5 years overseas, and we went from South Africa, took like 660 bottles of wine up to London with us. Once we got kind of through most of that, I was trying to figure out what else to try, and the home of Scotch, right? So we went through, 5 or 6 different dogs before we found something we liked, and then just started opening up my palate, man. So my first whiskey was really Glenkinchie.
Oh,
which,
nice.
Is kind of a floral, aromatic, light Scotch,
Mm-hmm.
and it just opened up my palate. and we took some tours around Europe, took some tours around Scotland, had lots of different whiskeys and lots of Irish whiskeys, and it just became something that, you know, every time you go someplace, you're looking for a bottle, looking for something new, and it catches your interest, and the people that are around there who know the flavors and know what's local and can kind of educate you, and more than willing to do it. So it was Europe, man. We just spent time in Europe and just enjoyed ourselves there and trying a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get to bourbon, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Me too.
I was always into the scotches, hesitant to try the American stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because I had this perception that it was all kind of like,
You have that bar scene perception.
yeah, you know.
Jack Daniels.
So one of the things that really helped me was this shift from drinking to sipping, right?
Right.
So you can actually get the flavors, so you can actually use your nose, so your whole palate becomes alive. I used to
Right.
drink whiskey when I first started, and sipping it really is what got me to understand the breadth and depth and character that's there.
Right.
Loved it.
Is there a whiskey in Europe that you miss, you wish you could get here, other than what you were talking about with Joe?
So there was one. I think we still have one bottle of it. The Glen Sonalta PX. It was one of the first ones I had that was double wooded. So it had that initial oak, and then it went over to, I think, a Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. And it just had this bit of peatiness, but all this sweetness that came out. And that's probably when I started doing some bourbons as well, is because that sweetness is really what you get from the bourbon. But I really enjoyed the complexity of some of the stuff that was double wooded.
Okay. Okay. So what is your, I know it's hard to, even I go back and forth. What is your favorite type of whiskey to drink now? Do you prefer scotch over bourbon or bourbon over scotch? Or you're just kind of, you're kind of like me now, it's like I'm always dependent on my mood, basically,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. So if someone says, what's your favorite type, it's probably going to be rye. You know,
Rye whiskey
bourbons-
in general.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Rye. But you know, there's not that many rye. I mean, there's a lot more than you could before get, but you can't get as many as you can in the scotches or you know, the bourbons. But I really like the rye whiskey, and you know, it's just a blend, right? But I like a bit of spice to it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
not so much the ones that burn, but the ones with that nice spiciness to it,
Yeah.
but they smooth out.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's some good ryes that kind of finish on your tongue, and then the next sip is a new sip. And I really like the ones that have that kind of finish that just leaves you complete. And then
Right.
you can come back to it the next sip, and it's like a fresh new sip again, right? Nothing lingers on the tongue.
Just like that James Oliver.
No.
James Oliver's good,
That's
isn't it?
really good.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
can tell we didn't like it.
And a lot of these,
I see that. It's gone.
A lot of these aren't that expensive, and that's a good thing.
That
about
bottle's
it.
not even
No,
24
they're not.
hours old.
That new Old Forester rye is like $24, and it's
See?
amazing.
Yeah. So Old Forester's a really good rye. This James Oliver's really good. This Bulleit 12 we're gonna taste. I think we're gonna like this too. So
I'm
it's a
excited.
good-
This is like one of the ones recent, the past, since this year started, I've been talking about, at least I'm like, we got to do this, we got to do, because even the regular Bulleit rye, for how cheap it is, it's a solid drink. Is it my favorite rye? No.
No.
But it's a solid drink for $20, you know, so, and I think I think that is 4 years old, add 8 more years to it, and, I mean, it's got to be good. You know what I mean?
Russell's makes a really good rye.
Yeah, they do.
10-year-old rye.
Yep.
They do.
Jefferson makes a really good rye. Just Jefferson Reserve. I mean, there's just so many good options out there, but it's still not as broad as what the spectrum is for bourbons.
Sure, yeah,
Still
right.
lots of opportunity
Yeah.
for more ryes.
And you
Right.
cannot forget your rested rye.
I do like rested rye as well, but my sister-in-law over here is the one that hooked me up to that one.
That's right.
But I did find 4 bottles someplace no one else found them, so.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
We
right.
had 4
in
bottles.
some dark corner in Oklahoma.
That's right. Got to go to the dark corners of the world to find these things.
Yep.
Right.
I'm willing to travel, so.
Right.
Yep, and you just brought me up 3 bottles of Old Fitz 9-year.
Yes, I sure did.
Yes, you did.
Are we breaking into that too?
No way.
Have
Got a better chance of my mother crawling out of her urn than you.
No, you piss her off enough, she just might.
Do you like the High West stuff?
I do. So that Midsummer Night Dram, that's fantastic. You know, I can't say I like all the High West. but there's a couple of them in there in that Midsummer Night Dram.
Did you like Campfire?
So I don't know if I had Campfire. I can't remember the one
It's a
with
Scotch mix.
That's a
With
Scotch,
rye.
a rye, and a bourbon mix.
Yeah, I don't think I've had Campfire.
It's good.
It's unbelievable. The nose and the palate is
Really?
just completely different from each other, man. It's so good.
Do we have that over there?
That was my first introduction to High West, was the Campfire.
Okay.
I saw that wine reserve one day, and I was like, "Yeah, why not?" You know what I mean? I'm like, and I read the label. I'm like, "That's weird." You know, I was like, "I gotta have this," and it wasn't cheap. I mean, it was $65.
No, that's not.
And then I poured a snifter and had it. And I called him immediately. I'm like, "Dude, you've got to try this. This is unbelievable." I believe it's supposedly the source of the Scotch was, and I may be wrong here, but I believe it was Lagavulin.
Okay.
And then it was a sourced rye from MGP, and then a sourced bourbon. And now the new rye, they're all okay. So, anyways, High West stuff this year now is going to be their own distiller.
Okay.
So the Midwinter's Night's Dram and all that is the difference this year is going to be that portion of it, or that portion of the Campfire is now going to be their own. So it'd be interesting to see how that changes it. You know?
Yeah, so I had, kind of the basic stuff when the breadth of their line was probably 2 different flavors.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they've advanced quite a bit farther than that, especially with
Right.
some of the new stuff they have out. I mean, it's worth trying to get.
Now,
Right.
we did the show on the Midwinter's
Midwinter's
Night
That's in
Dram,
summer, but yeah.
and that's supposed to be close to the, and I always mess up this name, the Bulleit.
Bulleit.
Bulleit. So it's supposed to be kind of close to that. So if you guys tried that,
I think I have probably 99% of any of the High West products in inventory.
I'm pretty sure you have them all.
I think I'm missing one
have you
or two.
compared the? I'm gonna screw it up again. Bulleit to the Midwinter's Night Dram.
I've not.
They're totally different.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
totally different.
Because I think when we did the show, they were kind of trying to compare those a little bit. Maybe it was just in the mash bill.
Because the Midwinter's Night's Dram is actually Bulleit, and it's aged in some other cask. I can't remember all
blended-
the
Yeah,
specifics. Yeah,
I could flip through my
Yeah.
notes, but I'm not doing it.
yeah, it's Bulleit, but aged in a different cask,
Yeah.
further aged in a different cask. So.
Would you pass me the cutter, please?
Yeah, the ryes are interesting. At first, I didn't like them, but then I did. But I feel like I'm doing all the talking here. You
No,
guys
you're-
pitch
No,
in here,
go
man.
ahead.
I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Anything you want to pitch in with you and Steve, which you
No, I
went through,
think
what you guys
he,
had thrown
yeah, I
together?
think he covered it. I'm glad that he's on the show. I mean, we talk about him on every show, and
So you guys grew up
we
together.
grew up together. So
Known Steve for how long?
my whole life.
Gosh, I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
probably about 50 years actually.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I know I don't look quite that old, but it's the camera.
Put
the makeup guy
Put
that
10
came.
pounds on you, did it?
That and a cowbell.
I'm gonna. You know what? I think I'm gonna tomorrow for the party. I'm gonna go get a chain.
Just tie it around his neck.
You be look like
Flavor
Flavor
Flav.
Flav.
All right.
With the cowbell.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness.
Oh dear.
So, Karen, you want to got some history for
Hit
us
you
on
up
the
a little bit of history.
Bulleit.
So the Bulleit Rye 12 year, it is a 92 proof, 95% rye. So Steve, this is gonna be right up your alley, and 5% malted barley, and it's a product of the MGP in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Sells for about $50. Bulleit was started in 1987. When Thomas E. Bulleit left his law practice to revive an old family bourbon recipe. What I found out was pretty cool about his old family recipe was that he was actually inspired by his great-great-grandfather, Augustus Bulleit, who made a high rye whiskey between 1830 and 1860. One day when he was actually transporting some barrels from Louisville, where he was doing his distilling, down to New Orleans, he mysteriously disappeared. And to this day, they don't know what happened to him. So, back then, who knows,
Break up one of them
1800s,
barrels
you're
and
running
find
some bourbon, some whiskey, who knows who got to him. But he thought his recipe was gone, until his great-great-grandson Thomas came along and kind of revived it. It's a little bit different than what his great-great-grandfather did. It's got more of a rye. His great-grandfather's was about 75% rye, and he had some corn in there as well. So this actually, it's a limited release, and I know a lot of people get down on Ohio and their distilling and their laws. I'm sorry, not their distilling, but their laws and the sales that we get here. But Ohio is actually one of the 13 states, and plus DC, that actually is part of this 12-year limited release. So we can be thankful for that. We actually got in on that. I don't know why only certain states did, and it's not regionalized. So you've got it from Oregon to Ohio to Kentucky, Massachusetts, Arizona. So I don't know what the rhyme or reason is, but Ohio actually got lucky to actually get this 12-year rye that we get to share with you all tonight. So
Awesome.
that's what I got.
So it is a limited release?
It is a limited release.
Damn it. Gotta get some more.
You better go buy another bottle. Quit
I
playing.
know.
Bottle.
We need to buy like 4
Case.
more.
Case.
Yeah.
Done. Okay.
Seriously.
That's all you had to say.
Right. Yeah, we need to do that.
So,
I thought it was here to stay.
No.
SOB. You know, I hope I don't love it now, because then I'm gonna love it, like, and then it'll be gone in a few months. Be like, God damn it. You know what I mean?
We'll find it.
So, Joe, where did you pick this up at?
I actually, okay, so I was hunting for it this week, and I actually went around, I can't remember, yesterday at lunch, and I was striking out. I went to like Pat O'Brien's and a couple of places around in the Bedford area, and nobody had it, and I put it out on the Facebook. I said, hey, on the co-op, I'm looking for this, blah, blah, blah. Eddie Smith actually got back to me and said it's at Giant Eagle Market District in Macedonia.
Oh, they have a market
And,
district there now.
I don't know if it's, maybe it's not a market district.
Just a regular
Giant
giant.
Eagle.
I
Okay.
think so, yeah.
Cross
So I
from
went
the
there, or I didn't go there. I was going to go there after work, and then I couldn't make it out that way because I had my daughter's graduation going, and then
Right.
so I went I was heading towards Wine Reserve because the traffic on the highway sucked, and I was like, I might as well do one last chance. I was like, why didn't I call the Wine Reserve? And I called and said, yeah, we got a ton of it here.
Oh, you're
I was like,
kidding.
oh, shit, really? And you're like, yeah.
they
So
got
I
a
went down
bunch
there,
of really
boom.
Wine Reserve.
Did they
Wi-
step
yeah.
up the game, huh?
So I don't know what happened. I think Dan was out of town and he kind of left the reins to Avtar, and Avtar went crazy. And
Avatar, my man.
Avtar ordered all this stuff, and 90% of it came in. And I was like, he called me right away. He's like, "Gee, you got to come down here. You're not
What
going to
did
believe."
they get? What's some other stuff?
Oh,
they get?
they had
They get some more
12-year. They had antique. They had Eagle Rare.
Oh.
They have I don't know if they got Buffalo Trace in or not, but let me think. Jesus, they had I don't know, but I spent $200.
I saw it looked full, but I had to be in and out in like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So they held a bottle for me. I went in, boom, done, and I left. I didn't even stick around and look. I had to be out and go
They
home.
had. I'm
so.
trying to think what else they had. They had shoot.
I don't know, but I'm just picking up on how he can spend money, can't he?
It's
Manson?
all up in the box. Everything's up in the box.
Holy
They
Plus,
always-
plus, we scored 3 bottles of Old Ezra
Uh-oh.
No. 7.
Ooh, nice.
Well, that's not a quit talking thing, Greg.
No,
That
it's
was,
just funny
just in
how
the
it just comes
playlist.
on. Every time Greg's talking. Just kidding.
Every time I talk and they get tired of me talking, they play this song. I'm putting everybody to sleep. That's all
No,
right.
I'm kidding. I didn't do this on purpose. It just
Right.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
So Dino said he didn't know about Bulleit till today. Didn't mean to cut you off. I'm kind of catching on to his question here. Bulleit's really good. So Dino, they have your Bulleit Frontier Bourbon. You have your Bulleit Rye. But you also have your Bulleit 10-year
Correct.
bourbon, which is really good. It's a lot more complex than the regular, and I really like. That was actually my introduction into Bulleit, was straight to the 10, because that's all they had on the shelf where I went at the time. I couldn't remember where. That's it. They had 10. I was like, oh, whatever, and I got it. Me and my dad drank it actually. It was in Cincinnati, and so again I called you and told you about it, and then Dino, this is actually phone froze. Oh, sorry. But yeah, this is the 12-year rye.
So the mash bill on this is the same as the mash bill on the regular Bulleit Rye too. It's just the year difference. I forgot to mention that in my.
Well, I'll tell you what,
No.
kids. Let me get a little floral note. Why don't we pass that stuff out?
Let's do it. Let's get this going.
Give it a try here.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh my God.
Oh, Greg, you getting up to here?
That's
What's going to?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Steve's. Okay, that's
All
fine.
right.
Great. Are we
Nope,
good?
he's
Okay.
got his own.
Oh,
Ooh, nice rye.
okay. Let's get some notes, Big G.
I'm with you, Steve. I think I like the ryes too.
I just think that a little bit of spice just does it.
So,
You can smell a little spice in here.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. It's very sweet on the nose.
all right, so kids, I pay attention because I might screw this up.
Okay. There's big words, more than 2 syllables.
There's like a big word in there. It's like longer than my last name. Okay, on the nose. These nuts. This is certainly a richer, more baking spice forward than the standard Bulleit Rye profile. You will still get some of the dill, say the word?
Herbaceousness.
Yeah, that too, believe it or not. Which, what did we say that was? Like earthy, complex? What?
Yeah, herbs.
Yeah, okay. And some of the floral notes that are present in the regular Bulleit. But they are challenged by the increased presence of brown sugar, red fruit, coca, and baking spices. Think cinnamon and cardamom. This is all sounds very, excuse me. This all sounds very much up my own personal alley. I like this nose quite a bit. So that was one of the reviews on it. So I can't blow this thing up. So all right. So let's give it a nose, kids. So we're talking brown sugar, red fruit, coca, baking spices. So let's give it a nose. So
Could you repeat that nose one more time for me, please?
He just wants you to try to pronounce those words again. You're
I'm
getting,
sorry,
you're
I'm
getting the
trying to-
stank eye.
I'm also, for our first time, I'm listening to somebody.
okay. All right. So
telling
on
us
the
how it's
nose,
going.
I thought you were busting my chops.
No,
That's okay.
no, I'm being serious.
I was.
No.
No,
All right.
You're busting his
So the-
balls.
So the nose, brown sugar, red fruit, coca, and baking spices. I can't say baking today. All right. And a
I
little
get
bit
the
of
brown sugar and the cocoa, for sure.
I actually get a little bit of that herbal
Yep.
herbalness to it.
The herbaceousness?
Yeah, that
Kind of
that
an
works.
earthy tone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
That is really good.
I'll try the Eric Black here.
It's got a
Where's
nice,
Eric today?
Got a nice color to it too.
I hope he's watching.
Eric,
He might
where
be
you
out
at?
of town.
Is he out of
Didn't
town?
he say something about maybe the Scouts thing or something? Or
he might have been. Yeah, that's right. I think he did. So it's light. It's
Yeah,
actually
how's
in
it on the
between.
glass?
It's actually in between. It's a little
What
heavy,
what the legs?
but yeah, very very widespread.
Makes you want to dive right in.
Listen, kids. The legs are far apart. Now's your opportunity to taste this. All right, just saying. Get
They
in
had to
there.
go there.
Jump in head first. I'm doing it right now. You're gonna love it. All right.
You guys ready? You guys ready to hit?
Let's do
Yeah,
it. We'll go
All right,
over
let's
the
do
palate.
it.
You're
Let's
all
do
done
it.
talking.
Oh my!
It's like a little dance in your mouth.
This is exactly what you talked about. How you liked your rye whiskey.
It's right.
This
It's
is
got-
right to the T. What you just said.
That finish just goes away.
You got the spice, but it's not killer. It goes
Yeah.
away. It's a very very nice finish.
Got a little heat in the back of the throat there.
It's very good. Wow.
Oh wow, yeah, we're gonna go have to
This is 92
buy some
proof.
more of these. 92 proof, yes.
Do you like it?
I love it.
It's good.
That is really good.
I've had it before, but
I know
What's
it
the
is.
palate supposed to be?
So the palate, tasting notes. Come on, phone. Rich aromas of dark cherry, mellow tobacco, pear-like fruit notes,
Wow.
dry, buttery, oakiness. That's what you got there.
I don't get any hairy fruit, but
They say a hint of caramel, but I don't get a lot of caramel. I get the hint of caramel, but what are you laughing at?
Hairy fruit.
She said she didn't get any hairy fruit.
You didn't get any hairy fruit?
She didn't no hanging
You didn't
hairy
get
fruit.
You didn't get no D's nuts on your sniffer? Huh? Killing me. You're gonna have to start.
I'm sorry.
Low hanging fruit.
I'm gonna buy you a nose
I'm
razor.
sorry. I was gonna interrupt you, but
But I get a lot of smell of caramel.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not forward in the taste. You know, it's there, but it's
no,
not.
I get
yeah.
more of the fruity note.
Yeah,
I do
I'd say
too.
Yeah.
I do too.
yeah,
So
fair.
it's
Spicy
smooth.
and warming.
It's smooth.
Get
It's
the
got
vanilla.
that fruitiness to it. I do taste a bunch of those spices,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
but none of it's really overpowering.
Right.
And it's got a nice blend, right? None of it's actually going to be one thing. It's going to be a whole nice, smooth mix. I
Right.
think that comes from the age.
Right.
I agree.
It's it was surprisingly my first hit of it was surprisingly hot for 92 proof, but it's not overwhelming. It's actually very welcoming. But after that first hit, it mellows out a lot, and
Yeah.
it's a flavor bomb, man. I get a lot of fruit, little brown sugar to it. I do get that kind of not tobacco-y, kind of a leathery. I don't know. It gives me kind of like a weird leathery taste to it, but it's good. It's good. Maybe that is the tobacco or something, but
Yeah,
the finish to me
I
is very vanilla when it hits the back, and I'm sitting here talking about it.
Did you say there were baking spices
Mhm.
in there?
It is spicy.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
getting.
it's
I'm
very
getting,
spicy.
I'm
It's
getting the rye,
Yeah.
and like you said,
Nancy, you wanna
Joe,
try?
when the first hit is extremely bam with the rye,
Mhm.
but then on your second hit of it, it's just smooth and sweet, and I get the baking spices.
I'm gonna dive into those widespread legs one more time. Guys, in?
Okay. Yeah,
Everybody
let's
in? All right.
Go for it.
I could drink this all day.
So the back of the tongue, I feel that.
Wow.
You said tobacco, leather, or whatever, but I feel that on the back of my tongue, and I can't really place what it is either.
Yeah.
But it tastes very unique.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very good.
Not bad, not good, unique. So it's just one of those things that you're pulling out of it that's not something you pull out of most.
No,
Different
it's different for rye. Again, it is 12 years old. You don't get a lot of higher age ryes like that on the market, especially in that price range. I think Bulleit in general puts out a hell of a product in the price range. Is it worth $49.95? Hell yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's
That's a
worth every
solid
dime.
drink for that. That drink's a lot more expensive than $49.95 for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that. They'll raise us $5.
Yeah.
It's
$89.95
It's
too.
worth that.
Yeah, right. Memorial Day special went up in price.
Good to have in the collection right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
how
for
do
sure.
how do you compare this to just the regular Bulleit rye? I don't know if it's been a
Yeah.
while. since
Apples
I've
and
done
oranges,
it.
I think.
So,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any comparison.
Yeah, I
And
don't
this
think
is
so
more
either.
smooth or
So I wouldn't even say that. I'd just say it tastes
No.
very different than
just
that.
different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, something that happens in that age thing that changes the profile. It's good. Bulleit regular rye is good, but this definitely, to me, is not in the same ball game and doesn't have the same flavor profile. So it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
I'm just amazed at the sweetness after that first taste. It's just
Yeah.
totally different
the
drink
first thing on my
after the
tongue is
first
very
hit.
sweet. Yeah.
So I haven't really heard a lot of the conversation about mixed drinks, right? I had a Manhattan with this, and it was tasty.
Okay.
So, for those Manhattan drinkers out there, this is a good one to put in that Manhattan.
Gotcha.
I'm a Templeton rye guy too.
Uh-oh.
Sacrilege.
This is good.
We were just
Well,
talking
try.
about Templeton before you came down here. We won't go there. But yeah, I could. We're going shopping tomorrow.
Yeah, I can hit
I'm
this
gonna
all
buy
day.
some more.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think they got a couple more bottles left at the wine reserve, and then
They won't after tomorrow.
the Giant Eagle. Yeah, right. The Giant Eagle over in
Macedonia?
Macedonia there had a lot of it on the shelf. So It's popping up everywhere. Every day I see more and more people. It's here, it's there, it's there. Zagaro's has it now. I guess Zagaro's got a lot of really good stuff in too. Sazerac Rye is actually popping up
Sazerac,
everywhere.
that was another thing that Wine Reserve had. They had a whole bunch of it, which I bought.
Did it fly off the shelf?
It did. They got it in. I was there on last week Saturday.
That's
We had a cigar event at the Willoughby Rib Burnoff, and we took 4 different bottles there to sample.
Plus my flask of
And,
wild turkey.
Yeah, and I bought a Sazerac to take, and I think Sidecar. I think he bought a bottle of just regular Bulleit Rye. We had a Weller Special Reserve, and we had a Jim Beam Black.
Is Saz gone from there? Do you know? Or
It was full. The shelf was full of Saz last Saturday. I don't know if there is or not. Why you
when
need
is
a
their
bottle?
shipment? When is their shipment there?
They get it on Wednesday and Thursday,
Okay.
just like all the other stores.
Okay.
I can call there tomorrow. If Avatar has it, I'll run up and get it.
If you're gonna be cooking tomorrow, I'll go run up and get it.
You could probably get that Bulleit there too.
Yeah. That's
But
good.
yeah, so Avatar, he ordered all kinds of stuff, and then it was. Any of you guys that are local, somewhat local, check out Wine Reserve. And you know what?
Yeah.
I do a ton of business there, and they are actually one of our sponsors as well, and we're going to start mentioning them on the show more and more. They
Get a sign.
take very good care of me. You know, they get stuff in, and you know, they alert me to let me know that it's there, and I pass that word on to everybody else, you know, that is there too. Sometimes I am able to you know, get stuff to my leisure, and sometimes I can't because, you know, I can't get there that day, you know, but they at least let me know that it's there because I do a lot of business with them, and maybe the state doesn't like that, but they're not putting anything aside. They're just saying, hey, we got this in, if you're interested, you know, and then they're trying to make sales, and that's fine. And but check out the Wine Reserve. We're gonna start mentioning them on the show.
I want to do a
And
show there.
I would love to do a show,
Yeah.
and Dan would love us to do a show there.
Oh, that'd be great. We should
you
do
know.
it. Yeah, that'd be cool. In a liquor store.
Imagine that sampling night.
I mean, your background being a
Yeah,
liquor
it's a
shelf.
nice
Well,
backdrop.
tonight we're gonna try whatever we want to try.
Like, hey,
Wait,
Joe,
guys, hold on. No,
grab
no,
me that.
no.
Grab me that.
So anyway, go check them out. They also have a store in Aurora, which is next to the opposite end of the plaza. There's Nicky and Smitty's on one end, which is a great restaurant. Go check him out. A friend of mine as well that owns that. And the Wine Reserve number 2, if you will, which is on the other end of the plaza, directly next to the VFW there on 43, right there by the old Jogga Lake.
Yep, right across from Old Jogga
Go
Lake.
check them out. It's a smaller store, but they have a very good selection as well. Sometimes if they don't have it at Wine Reserve, over in Bainbridge, I'll run over to Aurora because they usually have it. You know,
Yep.
if they don't have it, you know. So you know, they take very good care of us, and we got to give them their props. Good guys, good guys. Avatar and Dan, great people over there. Very knowledgeable.
I was gonna
extremely
say,
knowledgeable.
very good group of people there.
So.
My glasses empty. Can you
Yeah,
pour
I
me
see
a-
that.
Pour me a little more?
Good luck with that.
Are we? Just a quick question, Joe.
You still here?
Are we going to talk about the secondary on Cleveland Bourbon Co-op? About that?
We're gonna get to that. I think we'll get to that with the co-op. I have my news section.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
gonna get a lot of that.
Yeah, I would like to address that.
But yeah, that's.
You know what?
I don't want to be too
Want some
harsh
more?
about it, but
Do I want some more?
No, but Hank had a
No, I want a lot
great post this week about that.
Yes, he
and,
did.
And I really appreciate him giving a shout out to us. You know, our little podcast with the Whiskey Roundtable, and Hank and Carl, we really appreciate your support.
Yes,
You guys
definitely.
have been so good to us. So thank you very much for always
And
supporting
Hank and
us.
Carl,
Good
you
guy.
guys know,
Good
and
guys.
I think we're already doing this, but you know, when you guys post stuff or you want your voice heard, you know, where you're going to be your voice. So you know, we're going to talk about some of the stuff with secondary and all that stuff, secondary market, but you know, we're going to make it very well known that there's no place for bullshit on the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. So you're either going to follow the rules or you can get the hell out of Dodge.
There's my
Either or.
man. Get
So-
over here.
Oh, my cousin's here. What's up, cuz?
Come on.
Y'all can't get me to do no cameos.
Come on, Damon.
We're gonna after the show today. We're gonna hang out on Facebook at the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, and we'll be live on the co-op answering questions. Seeing why some of you guys didn't sign on to the YouTube tonight. Come on, guys.
Dude, we gotta get you.
Come on, get on.
Because I'm telling you,
get on,
if you women are watching, you have got to see this guy.
Come here, Snoop Dogg. Sit down.
Come on, watch your camera. Say hi.
Sit down. What's up, cuz?
I need a shot.
All right.
I need a
You
shot.
came to the right table. Here.
Let's get him a glass.
How are
A
you?
shot.
What's going on? No
You're gonna
love? I don't
sit.
get no love. Where you
Yes,
been,
yes.
man? How are you?
Good.
I love you, man.
I'm good.
Hey, Damon, can you
Dude,
look
I
at that
haven't
camera
seen you in
and
like
say
10
hey?
years, man.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Stefan.
What's going on, Damon?
I will come around, but I don't want to mess the camera.
No, don't mess the camera up, man.
You're good.
What's up, man?
It's good to see you.
Yes. Yes. All
How's the
in
car
one
world
piece.
going? Harley World.
That's what I wrote out here.
Did you
write
write
it?
it?
All right, good.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. All right.
No quitters.
Look at him.
I was made for the camera.
He's so shy. I don't want to go. Well,
Oh,
hey.
yeah, shy. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking.
Are you allowed to cuss on here?
Oh, gosh.
Hell yeah, you are.
Oh, well, fuck. If I say some shit that was meant to come out.
Oh,
Okay, let's do a toast.
we just
All right.
turned it
All
up.
right. All right. Yeah.
Well, we can
All
turn
right,
that
so
again.
here's the family, kids.
All
All
right.
right.
Here's the family.
Good to see you,
Are
Damon.
we doing the whole thing? Or
No, you
just-
do whatever
No,
you
no,
want
just
to
You do
sip
do.
what
it,
you
man.
gotta do.
Hey,
Last
Sip the good
time.
juice, man.
you see that green box right there?
Yeah.
It's got all kinds of moonshine in there. Why don't you try a little bit of that?
shit.
You
Now,
scared?
You know what?
Oh, you can't because you're riding. So.
Yeah, we don't want to repeat.
Oh my goodness.
I only got one good leg. Well, two.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear. If you ever need a tripod to hold that camera
Yeah.
up on.
That's right. I've seen him make a lot of donkeys cry. That's why they don't let them in no farms.
All right, guys. So I
That's
think what
sexual
we're gonna do
chocolate right
is we're
there.
gonna
Wanna wrap up the news?
yeah, I'm gonna do the news real quick, and then we're gonna do a little more news once we get back to the co-op. Again, after the show is ended today, we're gonna get back on the co-op. We're gonna be live on Facebook, hanging out with you guys in the after show party. We're gonna be sitting here drinking, doing our thing, answering questions, taking phone calls, whatever you guys want to do tonight. All right. So what we're gonna do is just on the news. It's more co-op related. Well, actually, I'll start with liquor first. So Bulleit 12 is out. A lot of stores around Ohio and the Cleveland area, in general, are getting
Try that rye.
a lot of Eagle Rare, Blanton's, Sazerac Rye. We're seeing a lot of the E.H. Taylors surfacing on the shelves. Pretty much seem to be the ones a lot of guys are looking for. Another thing, when people do offer ups and stuff like that, if you're going to follow through, please try to follow through on it. Sometimes we take a little time away from our personal time to go grab a bottle for you and stuff. Just, not a big deal, but just kind of, a little respect on that. The other thing is secondary market, guys. Come on, man. I see you get a lot of guys playing on that. I know the admins and some of the moderators don't want to be too harsh about it, but I think as time goes on, your time is going to be limited in the group. If it continues to happen, where stop taking, I think it's, I'm not trying to be a dick, but to take our products off the shelves and even for trading it somewhere else for something that you want, I think is a little selfish. If you want it, buy it.
Has that happened?
Oh, all the time.
You're
Yeah,
kidding.
it's. I always say, you're not going to make $1 million, doing what you're doing. And the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op has worked long and hard, and you're just being disrespectful to the entire group, and for your own selfishness. But
Right.
If you want to do that, you go right ahead. But you know what? Quit the group. It's as simple as that. Quit the group.
Don't sacrifice the group, because we have people from distilleries in the group, and we also have the state in the group also watching. So what they do,
it's just-
when you keep playing on the secondary market, you could hurt our chances to do more barrel picks
Right.
and stuff with a lot of distilleries, and that's not cool. If all it's going to take is one guy to keep repeat offending, and they could be like, you know what, there's too many players on the secondary market in the group. We're not gonna play with these guys anymore.
Right.
Because even though we buy their barrel, they don't want to see that barrel going on the secondary market making a profit. So that's pretty much it, guys, for today.
So
We're
knock
going
the
to head
shit
over
off.
to the Facebook on the co-op, and I'm going to cut the mics off here. We're going to do the. Oh yeah, right. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Steve.
I'm just cuz.
And that's
Sexual
that's cousin.
chocolate.
That's cousin.
This is sexual chocolate right here. Sexual
Peace,
chocolate.
guys. See you later.
Stop it, I say.
We'll see you next week. Have a great holiday weekend. Be safe. out
Yeah,
there.
be safe. Have a good holiday.
All right.
Bye, guys.